My husband's parents showed up with a lawyer 3 days after his accident demanding to make his medical decisions. They had no idea who his emergency contact actually was. My husband, Rowan, was hit by a drunk driver on a Tuesday morning. The impact sent his car into a concrete barrier at 65 miles per hour. He'd been in a medically induced coma for 3 days while his brain swelling went down. I sat in that ICU room holding our 4-year-old son, Finn. The doctor said the next 48 hours were critical. They wouldn't know if there was permanent damage until he woke up. On Friday afternoon, a nurse knocked softly. "Mrs. Keene, there are people here demanding to see you." Rowan's parents, Clifton and Meredith Keene, walked past the nurse into the waiting room. Behind them was a man in a navy suit carrying a briefcase. Meredith didn't ask how Rowan was doing. She didn't look at Finn. "We're taking over his medical decisions," she announced. "Our attorney has the paperwork." I stared at her, exhausted. "What are you talking about?" Clifton spoke without meeting my eyes. "You're too emotional to make rational decisions. The doctor said his prognosis is uncertain. We have experience with these situations." The lawyer opened his briefcase. "Mrs. Keene, given the severity of your husband's injuries, the hospital may view having experienced family members with medical power of attorney as more appropriate." Meredith's mouth formed a thin line. It was the same expression she'd worn at our wedding when she told Rowan he was ruining his life, marrying someone from a working-class family. "We're prepared to make hard choices," she said coldly. The realization hit me. They wanted to pull the plug. After 3 days, they decided Rowan wasn't worth the medical bills. For 5 years, they tried to control him. When he chose to marry me instead of the lawyer's daughter they'd selected, they cut him off. No trust fund, no family business position. They didn't come to Finn's birth. No cards, no calls, nothing. But now Rowan was vulnerable, and suddenly they wanted control. "You need to leave," I said quietly. Clifton smiled. "We'll return in the morning with hospital administration. A young wife with no medical background versus his parents who can make objective decisions. The ethics board will side with us." After they left, I sat in the bathroom and cried. Then I pulled out my phone. "Hollis, I need your help." Hollis had been Rowan's best friend since law school. He was best man at our wedding. He'd held Finn when he was born while I recovered. For the past 7 years, he'd been serving as the hospital's chief legal counsel. I told him everything. The ambush, the threats. The lawyer with documents ready before Rowan had been in a coma for 72 hours. Hollis listened without interrupting. When I finished, he was quiet. They came to the ICU 3 days after the accident with an attorney. "Yes? Did they mention Rowan's advance directive?" I froze. Rowan and I had updated our healthcare directives 2 years ago. We'd both named each other as primary decision makers. Hollis was backup if something happened to both of us. "They never asked about it," I said. "That's because they're hoping you don't remember it exists." Hollis came to the hospital that evening. He reviewed every document. He made calls to the ethics board. He contacted the attending physician. When the Keenes arrived the next morning with their attorney and a hospital administrator, Hollis was standing in the ICU corridor. The color drained from Clifton's face. "Hollis Barrett?" he stammered. "I wasn't aware you were involved." "Close friend of the family," Hollis replied calmly. "I'm also chief legal counsel for this hospital. I'm aware your attorney contacted our administrator claiming there was no valid healthcare proxy on file. That's a false statement, one that could constitute fraud." The Keenes' lawyer turned pale. "I've already spoken with the ethics board," Hollis continued. "They're aware you made zero contact during Rowan's entire marriage. They're aware you appeared with legal documents before the swelling in his brain had begun to resolve." The administrator shifted uncomfortably. "Mr. Barrett, is there actually an issue here?" Hollis smiled slightly. "Not anymore. Mrs. Keene is the legal healthcare proxy as designated in a valid advance directive. This meeting is over." 6 weeks later, Rowan opened his eyes. He squeezed my hand and whispered Finn's name. The Keenes' attorney received a formal complaint from the state bar. Clifton and Meredith never contacted us again. Hollis is now Finn's godfather.